Hello. Let's talk my review of Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. So really when you look at this film, I look at this film and you see what I like about what Marvel's doing. Let's start with something that's good. What I like about what Marvel's doing at this point is they're giving directors the material and saying, go make your vision. Because when you look at this is a straight Sam Raimi horror movie. It's got horror elements to it. Obviously, it's toned down so it can get that PG-13 rating, but you look at it and you say there's things like Wanda jumping out of a mirror in a horror kind of characters. There's jump scares. There's some grisly deaths. All of that definitely vibes with that. And just from the start, I'm not a horror movie. I don't really like horror movies, so that was a little bit of a turnoff for me. And then you look at it from the perspective of the whole Marvel universe, I kind of think this movie's mid. I mean, that's the best way to describe it. It's not as bad as, say, Thor the Dark World, but it's also not anywhere near the top tier of Marvel with things like Guardians of the Galaxy and Infinity War and Endgame and Winter Soldier and Ragnarok. It's not even close to those. Spider-Man No Way Home. And really, the reason I think that is because you kind of start with the fact that this movie is really fast-paced. So you kind of jump right in, and if you haven't seen things like the first Doctor Strange movie, or you haven't seen WandaVision, or you haven't seen Loki, you can be a little lost right at the beginning. So it jumps right in, and really that's kind of takes it down a little bit. There's not a lot of establishment of character motivations. And then when you look at the characters, to me, Doctor Strange as a whole is kind of a mid-Marvel character. It doesn't mean I wasn't excited for this movie, because exploring the multiverse is really interesting, especially, and you saw the rumors of all these cameos, and especially after the events of Loki. But really, from a character standpoint, his first movie's okay. His arc in Infinity War and Endgame is kind of helped by Tony Stark. It's great to cough on camera. Sorry. But so he's kind of a mid-Marvel character for that matter. And then you get into Wanda and you go, okay, this is a beloved character that turns completely evil kind of right away. And so it's really hard to follow what motivates these guys. So you look at Doctor Strange and kind of, I've seen people online say he's motivated to be happy, but really the whole movie starts where he has this dream. And then he's fighting a monster in New York City and saving this girl who can travel through the multiverse. And it's kind of like, okay, what's going on? And because of the events of Spider-Man No Way Home, again, one that you have to see to remember, he's super interested in the multiverse. So he wants to protect this girl from these monsters that are trying to kill her. Then when you look at Wanda, you have to see the end credits scene in WandaVision to really understand what's going on. This is a character that you thought was a hero, and then she turns completely evil in this movie. She's definitely the villain. And really, as you go through the movie, you start to go, okay, what's her actual motivation here? Is it to get her kids back from the multiverse? Is it to, she makes some comment at one point, is it to help the kids that are in the multiverse go and not survive from sickness and get the best medicines? And really, as you start to think about it, you go, okay, if she wants to get her kids back, she has to, like, murder herself in the multiverse, murder her variants. And so you're starting to go, what's the actual motivation for her here? And I think that's what this movie lacks, is it lacks that kind of standard motivation for these characters. And I think, to me, one of the things that could have really improved it is if there's a character over Wanda. There's a villain that's bigger and talking to her and kind of pushing her in that direction and really kind of motivating her and all of that. That would have really, really helped. And there's rumors of all of those things. And then two, I think when you look at the cameos, all the cameos were never going to happen. It's too many characters, too many things, but that's what people got excited about this for. And the couple of cameos that are there, because there are a few, they end in grisly deaths. And you're like, okay, what's the point of having those in here? And so really, like I said, to me, this is a mid-Marvel movie. It's not a great one. It's not a bad one. It's mid. It's not Thor the Dark World. I'm one of those people who didn't really like Captain Marvel that much. It's not that. But it's also not anywhere near Spider-Man No Way Home, Endgame, Guardians of the Galaxy, Ragnarok, the ones that are really up there. And so for me, this was kind of a disappointment, and I'm really excited because I love Ragnarok so much. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies for Thor, Love, and Thunder over the summer.